Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope you're all having a fantastic morning this morning on a beautiful Wednesday. I can't believe I'm saying this to you, but happy December. And somehow we went from January of this year to December. Somehow we got here as quickly as we did. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're making the most of life. I hope that you're having fun, and I hope that you are truly being good to yourself and being good to others, because if you're not, then, you're not really living, in my opinion. So got to be good to yourself, got to be good to others. Welcome here to the show. So happy to have you here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. Very happy to be here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. You're watching on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, which is also on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT. And of course, you're on YouTube with us on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. So we appreciate you being there. You're listening on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, hanging out here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. These beautiful Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal, you can fill your cup up today at any one of their awesome locations. They are there for you on 3501 James Street, 401 South Salina Street, and 208 North Townsend Street in Syracuse. They are located inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, minutes from the Dome, and they are also there for you in Manlius, the giant behemoth of a brown-striped building on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and of course, in their newest location and first ever drive-through location at the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse, also known to all of us here historically as Sweetheart Corners. So, big ups to all that they do, and a big thanks to the wonderful people led by the wonderful leader of Matt Goddard at Cafe Kubal. We appreciate you so very much, so thank you for all that you do. You know, on Wednesday shows, it's all about Dolphin time to start off the broadcast, so we'll do that in just a minute with Bob Beretta of LeMoyne College. AD and DT, AD standing for Athletics Director Bob Beretta, DT, obviously my initials, and AD and DT every other Wednesday throughout each month, every first and third Wednesday of each month. Bob and I have the wonderful opportunity to let you see behind the scenes, behind the curtain of LeMoyne College, and to speak on a specific topic for each episode. Today's episode is all about the women's and men's basketball teams at LeMoyne College as they've started off their season. The women are 3-1, the men are 3-2. They're both 1-1 in conference play in the Northeast 10, and they're looking to get above 500. They will try that tonight at Ted Grant Court in a huge doubleheader. We're inviting you to that games tonight in the doubleheader, as the women will tip off at 5 p.m. and the men will follow at 7 p.m. tonight, Wednesday, December 1st. So this entire broadcast today of AD and DT dedicated to the women's basketball team led by Mary Grimes and the men's basketball team led by Nate Champion, speaking on how they've done so far, commending the student athletes, the Emma Brinkers and Christian Davises and Jenna Zimmermans and Nino Hernandezes and so on and so forth of the world. We're going to have the opportunity to speak on the coaches, to speak on the student athletes, and to tell you about the games tonight. Can't wait to have you here for the doubleheader, Wednesday, December 1st. I'm going to be out there. Can't wait to see you out there at Ted Grant Court. It's a Wednesday night. It's cold outside, folks. Start off December the right way. Get in the festive spirit. Come out to Ted Grant Court and support your LeMoyne College Dolphins. I am so looking forward to this. This is big. Both teams are playing at Delphi. It's a Northeast 10 conference game, big-time game at home, and they protected home up to this point. The men have played one home game. They're 1-0. They gutted it out against New Haven. I was there for that one, 79-75, and the women are 3-0 at home. So make sure you come tonight to Ted Grant Court. We're going to tell you why in just a few minutes, and we're going to tell you about the team so that you know who you're coming to see. If you need a little Kickstarter, or if you've never been to a LeMoyne game, we're more than happy to give it to you. Today on AD and DT, Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, will be speaking on LeMoyne's men's and women's basketball teams ahead of their doubleheader tonight Wednesday, December 1st, on site, on location at Ted Grant Court, with 5 p.m. for the women and 7 p.m. for the men. And then in hour number 2, as we always do every Wednesday, we will split the show into 2 videos, and we will go into the Fantasy Football Power Hour right around 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. So the Fantasy Football Power Hour, not one of, not a, but the Fantasy Football Power Hour will be coming to you with Mr. Mike Sofka as we prep you for Week 13 of Fantasy Football. And as always, make sure you send your questions in to us about your specific team, and we're always happy to answer your questions, address your issues, trades, everything you got going on when it comes to fantasy football. We're always happy to help. Proudly brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. It is a fantastic place for you to go to 7 days a week, and they have takeout and delivery available as well by calling 315-487-2222. That's 315-487-2222. So, with that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. Bob Beretta joins me next with AD and DT centering on the women's and men's basketball programs of LeMoyne College right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Multimedia marketing partnership initiative here with AD and DT every first and third Wednesday of each month, and every second and fourth Wednesday, Dolphin Dive with student athletes, coaches, and staff members telling their stories. Bob, as always, happy to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, Dan. Thanks.
Happy to have Bob Beretta here with us all throughout the month, not just for AD and DT, but in general and what you're doing on campus. So before I go anywhere, thank you for what you've already brought to our community and what you've brought to LeMoyne, because you're making it fun. You're making it really centered on just bringing us together, and it's exciting for me. When I come on a campus, there's a different feel pre-Bob Beretta and during Bob Beretta, so very happy to have you here.
Well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate those kind words.
So with that being said, we get to talk about something today. I love all sports. This is the one that I played the longest of my entire life. I am a huge basketball fan of men's and women's basketball, and we have a massive game coming up today. That's right, folks. Right here today, for those of you watching and listening live, Wednesday, December 1st, the first day of December, a doubleheader for the women's and men's basketball teams for LeMoyne College for the Dolphins at Ted Grant Court here Wednesday, December 1st at 5 p.m. The women will tip off, and at 7 p.m. immediately following, the men will tip off. So Mary Grimes and Nate Champion both taking on Adelphi here at Ted Grant Court at LeMoyne College. Big old game right here in the middle of the week.
Yeah, big midweek doubleheader in league, so we're really excited about it. Our teams have gotten off to a strong start, opened up at home in conference with victories over Southern Connecticut earlier this season. Already start saying earlier this season, it's earlier in November, but tonight's going to be a massive game for us to take on a very talented Delphi team on both sides, men and women. And I know that it's been a bit of a rivalry here over the years between LeMoyne and Adelphi, and I know both of our programs are really excited about the opportunity ahead of them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and a fantastic way to walk into December, run into December. What I love about it is it's a doubleheader. It's here at Ted Grant Court. It's a great game. It's in conference in the NE10. And it's December 1st. It's a true way to usher in the holiday season, which I'm excited about.
That's right, so we want to invite everyone that's watching today, please come out tonight, support our teams. Great environment, should be a lot of fun, have good student support all back from Thanksgiving break, and we feel like they're going to be two very highly competitive ball games out here at Ted Grant Court tonight.
Fantastic starts for both teams at home defending Ted Grant Court. The women have a record of 3-1. Those 3 wins have all come at home on the court here at LeMoyne College. The men have a record of 3-2, and they've only played one home game against New Haven, and they got that victory gutting it out with Christian Davis helping to help them at the charity stripe there, going 4-4 down the stretch from the free throw line, and the team winning 79-75 in a nail biter that you and I got to both sit and watch.
Yeah. So
really a great start for both teams who are trying to keep the home well protected here at Ted Grant.
They are, and I spoke in error. I said our earlier wins against Southern Connecticut, they were against New Haven here in that Saturday doubleheader a couple weeks ago. It was exciting. 2 great wins for our programs. Our women fell behind early, big. I think at one point down like 21-3, or just a big number early, and just had a 25-0 run in the second half. I've never seen a 25-0 run like that, but we just took control and dominated the rest of the way. And the men had an elevator. It came right down to final 2 possessions of the ball game, and a great victory over a talented New Haven squad. So we're looking forward to hopefully continuing that home vibe tonight with a couple of victories.
And, you know, when you say you've never seen a 25-0 run, you've never seen a Mary Grimes at that energy.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you take the energy that she calls me on the phone with and you times it by 1,000, maybe 1,000,000, if you can even turn it up any higher, and that's how she coaches. She does nothing halfway.
And she does nothing halfway, and that stuck out to me as well during the interview process, Dan, back in May and June when we talked to Mary. We thought, obviously, she was a known commodity here at the Heights in her third visit back, but really she entered the interview process as another candidate. I mean, she had an edge in terms of her familiarity with LeMoyne and the LeMoyne community's familiarity with Mary. But with me, it was really starting from square one, and the thing that struck me initially was her energy, her vision, her determination, and she talked about winning national championships, and that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to bring in someone who was not going to be limited by a closed-minded thinking approach. She's going to think to achieve at the highest levels. She's going to strive to gain the highest level of performance from her student athletes and have them achieve the highest levels of their potential. And she was someone that I felt would be a perfect fit here on campus and within our women's basketball program. And so far, she's been all of that. We're thrilled to have Mary leading our ladies, and we feel really good about our direction and where we're headed come February and March this season.
And Mary got her first win ever as a head coach, ever as a LeMoyne head coach, and in their first ever game as a head coach at General, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, you look at this and say, first time head coach, first time LeMoyne head coach, returning to LeMoyne, and got her first win in her first game. So a lot of beautiful things happened in that 82-48 victory over East Stroudsburg right here at Ted Grant Court at home. And many thanks, I'm sure, from Mary to one of her players, all of her players, but Emma Brinker, with what we've been able to see her do. I know there's something that I'm gonna default to you and let you speak on the offensive glass because she's been incredible there. But 21 points a game, 13.8 rebounds a game, and 8 assists. She's averaging almost a triple-double. Has played incredible through the 4 games that they've played this season, and is all inside 51.7% from the field. But the glass is important to me. We know that in Central and Upstate New York, everybody wants to talk about protecting the glass there, and she has done a fantastic job rebounding. But if we only spoke about the offensive side, she is undeniably got to be one of the behemoths of the NE10, if not the country, if she continues to do what she's doing.
No question about it, Dan. And we're so happy for Emma. She's battled through injuries during her LeMoyne career, and to see her on the court, healthy right now, and showing what her capabilities are. As you mentioned, averaging almost 22 points a game, almost 14 rebounds a game. But the number that really jumps off the stat sheet is 9 offensive rebounds a game. She's averaging 9 offensive rebounds a game. And by the way, I think she averaged about 4 assists per game. So she has been the catalyst behind the LeMoyne offense so far. She's been there to clean up misses on the offensive end, second chance points, put back baskets. But she's been a force inside, working with Jenna Zimmerman. The two really comfortable playing together. Jenna is also averaging double digits in the rebound department, and the two play off each other so well, and they have that kind of, usually you have a high-low relationship, but they have two, it's a low-low. It's the bigs down there on the blocks on either side of the rim that are really dominating the paint for us so far this season.
Yeah, and like you said, averaging 9 offensive rebounds a game, 36 through the first 4 games of the season. Some teams as a team don't have 9 offensive rebounds in a game at all, not even close. Some are lucky to have 4. And when we look at as an entire unit, she has 36 in 4 games. The team has 87 in 4 games. Okay, we're talking about offensive rebounds. We're not talking about rebounds. We're talking about offensive rebounds. So for her to have almost 10 a game through the first 4 games, and then the team to have almost 90, I mean, this is huge. I can take some D1 men's basketball teams and tell you that they don't have 90 offensive rebounds in an entire year. And here's this squad doing it. It means they're cleaning up, they're giving second chance opportunities, second chance knowing that you're not going to make. First of all, it means they're boxing out. It means they're staying there, they're not running back, they're not thinking every shot goes in, and they're taking time off the clock because they're resetting that clock for themselves every time they grab a board. So they're doing a million different things just by cleaning up on the glass, and I think it cannot go understated that when even if you miss those second chance opportunities, when you minimize time for your opponent, you maximize your opportunity to win.
No doubt about it. You know, I liken it to baseball where they say defense doesn't go into slumps. You play defense, you play defense. Now, there are times where defenders do go through a defensive slump, but for the most part, defense wins championships. It doesn't matter what the sport. And rebounding is all about effort, right, and desire and want to. And to listen to Emma talk about it after the game on Saturday, or I should say on Sunday when they beat Roberts Wesley, and she talked about, hey, that's a constant in my game. I might not be completely on with my shooting on any given day, but my rebounding is effort, and that's always going to be there. And it's so important to be consistent, to be someone you can count on, and to produce at that level for a consistent period of time is amazing. I mean, so we'll see how long she can continue to work, but I think when it comes to Emma's mindset, she's got the mindset of a champion. She's very selfless player. She's going to clean up. She'll pass as easy as she will take the shot inside. But to know that you have that steady force down the blocks and have Jenna there as well, the two of them are going to be fun to watch throughout the season.
And when you have a big averaging a double-double and then having 8 assists per game, that's very atypical. And she said something so incredibly smart that you really don't think about. I played basketball all my life, but your shots won't always fall, but your effort doesn't have to do with once, you know what I mean? You take a shot, sometimes it goes in and sometimes it doesn't, but your effort on the court never changes if you don't let it change. And so she could have 0 points and still have, 20 boards and still have assists and still help out her team and still take a charge and do a lot of things out there. So shout out to Emma for being incredibly well-versed when it comes to that.
Well versed and selfless. In my coaching days, I would always tell, whether it was the year that I coached at West Point as a softball coach, or my years coaching travel with young people all the way through a college team of travel players, you control 3 things, right? You can control 3 things: your attitude, your effort, and your energy. And rebounding is about a little part of each one of those. And when you put it together, you come to a product of averaging 14 rebounds a game and 9 offensive boards a game. So it's a tribute to Emma's mindset, her work ethic, and certainly her grit and determination, her resiliency. And again, for us to be able to count on that production down low each and every game is vital and will be critical to our success.
Ball goes up, comes down to who wants it.
Exactly.
Saida Abdulaziz, 13.8 points per game herself, 6.8 rebounds, so right there, close to a double-double, 4 assists for her, and she is the 3-point specialist for LeMoyne Dolphins women's basketball through these first few games, shooting almost 40% from 3 at 36.8.
Yeah, and again, this is all Mary Grimes, right? Mary recruited Saida to Albany when Mary was on that staff, and Saida decided to go elsewhere, and when Mary took the job, accepted the job in June, she was able to reconnect with Saida, and she transferred in here this summer. And what a great addition to our program. Gives us that outside threat, that 3-point threat, and she's shooting nearly 50% from 3-point land. So a force to be reckoned with on the perimeter. And you talk about that inside-out game. If she's off on her 3-point shot, well, guess what? You have Jenna and Emma down low to clean up the miss and generally put it back in off the glass for a bucket. So it's been a deadly combination so far. And again, that having Saida here, a direct tribute to Mary Grimes and her relationships in the industry.
Well, I gave a congratulation to Mary when she won her first game, and she said, "Isn't my job to win all of them?" So, with that type of mindset and a team that has that type of mindset, talking about how Emma speaks about the game, I just put Jenna and Emma together. Maybe that's what we should do, is have Gemma. But to have, what they've been able to do, and their outlook is paralleling what Mary's talking about. So that Mary's message is getting through, and that she is recruiting the right players and taking the players that she has and making something out of them. And once you have the spirit of excellence, and it doesn't matter what outside noise says, because by definition it belongs outside. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you hold yourself to a higher caliber than average, then you will on your worst day, you'll be above average.
Yeah, and that was so important during the coaching search for me. Anytime I look for a coach, and whether it was, didn't matter the sport at West Point or even here at LeMoyne now, as we continue to go through some coaching transitions, we're going to look for someone that is going to be able to establish a standard, and then hold people accountable to that standard. Because as you start to relax your standard, then your expectations are lowered. And for us, we have high expectations. We expect excellence from our coaches, from our student athletes, from our staff. We expect that every day. We want to elevate our performance in all areas every day, but it's all about enabling our student athletes and assisting their pursuit of comprehensive excellence. And that's in all factors, in all assets, in all areas of their life, I should say, whether that's athletics or whether that's academics or whether that's socially. It's our job to provide that opportunity for them to pursue that comprehensive excellence. And when we're talking about performance on the basketball court, it starts with your head coach, who's able to establish those high standards, hold people accountable to those standards, and then allow those athletes to achieve at that level.
And the team has done an incredible job. Speaking on the women's basketball team for LeMoyne, the men's basketball side of it has also had a strong start under Nate Champion and his new staff of Ben Swank and of having Mr. Speedy Fraser here as well. So, and I would be remiss if and Kevin Constant, mostly inside, shooting 58.5% from the field. You got 5 guys taking almost 40 shots in the first 5 games, and they have made 45% or better. That's some offensive power for Nate Champion.
It is. Nate's done a great job. You know, as you know, Dan, he returned just 1 player this year, so
yeah.
It was really an unknown when we stepped foot on that court against Syracuse in the exhibition game, how those players were going to respond, how they were going to respond to each other, how are they going to respond to their first game at LeMoyne. Many had played collegiately elsewhere, several transfers that came in, but really, I think this is going to be an example of a team that is going to continue to get better and improve throughout the season. Not that our women won't, they will as well, but the men are such a group of unknown commodities, right, to each other, that as they gain comfort with each other and their style of play and their rhythm, I can expect, I would expect us to continue to achieve at high levels as the season goes on. And we play that Nate's style of play up and down, and if you like offense, you'll love to come out and watch our teams play, because both teams really go up and down the floor extremely well, but the men like to push it and like to score in the 80s. They don't like to play in the half court, so they're going to push every opportunity. And we have some players that enjoy playing that style, enjoy shooting the 3 ball, and can get up and down the court. Some tremendous athletes on our men's side.
Yeah, you know, and so now it comes to, and I think Nate would say this himself, is protecting the glass, minimizing turnovers, and knowing that this team can score. So if defensively that effort goes up, and if some of those mistakes get condensed and taken away, we're looking at a men's team that has a very high upside.
Very high upside, and really been banged up early, right? 3 bigs are out, including Luke Sutherland. We hope to get him back later this week or early next week. Local product got dinged in the Syracuse game, but
West Genesee,
he's your guy.
local product, and you have to preface by saying this, New York State champion Luke Sutherland.
I'll let you say that. But we're really excited to have Luke back, get him back healthy. We weren't sure how serious the injury was going to be against SU. He hasn't been able to get back on the court, hopefully later this week. We also lost Isaiah Austin in our season opener at Roberts Wesleyan, so we think that he'll get back soon enough. So there's more power on the way there. We've been hurt inside early, but when you lose 3 bigs, as we have, it's to be expected. I think that we've gotten tremendous performance early from Christian Davis. He's a redshirt freshman from Denver, 6'6", freakish athlete, can shoot the 3, shooting it proficiently, almost 50% from 3 early on, averaging 16.5 points, 5 rebounds. He's been terrific. Our freshman point guard, our transfer, a redshirt freshman, Jeremiah Washington, has been solid. He's been averaging about 9 points a game and 4 or 5 rebounds a game, and really he directs that high speed, that high energy pace. You know, he's the guy that's the person who's behind the steering wheel of it all. I think right now we've been hurt by turnovers early in the season. You know, we play fast, and sometimes we've gotten probably a little too fast, and it's resulted in some unforced errors that I know that Coach Champion wants to shore up, and will need to shore up if we're going to achieve at the level that
above 500 in conference play in the NE10 tonight against Adelphi. They're both 1-1 in the NE10. The Northeast 10, if you don't know it, is one of the most competitive conferences in America. Doesn't matter what division, and here at Division II, NE10, very very strong, very prominent, comprised of some fantastic teams here in the Northeast, and excited to see what LeMoyne can do tonight, and we look forward to seeing you here Wednesday, December 1st, 5 p.m. for women's basketball, 7 p.m. for men's basketball against Adelphi, looking to go above 500, like I said, in the NE10, and looking to protect home court, where the women are 3-0 and the men are 1-0. Bob, you got some fantastic hires here. I mean, I know you brought in Mary Grimes. I know that you came in when Nate was already here. But to have Mary and Nate already be connected with the program from before, to inherit Nate, gain Mary, and to know everything that they brought in with their assistant coaches, it is a great day to be a Dolphin when this is what basketball looks like.
I appreciate you saying that, Dan. I feel strongly that we have two elite coaches. And when I came into this conference, everyone said that the basketball is extraordinary, that you need to bring your lunch pail and hard hat every single night, and there are some terrific coaches in this league on both the men's and women's side. We're seeing it right here at LeMoyne. I think we have two of the best in Mary Grimes and Nate Champion.
That comment from Bob Beretta. This is AD and DT for the AD, Athletics Director of LeMoyne, Bob Beretta, and myself, DT. We appreciate you and thank you for watching. We ask you to come out and support at Ted Grant Court, and make sure you're supporting all of the sports and all the student athletes and students and faculty here at LeMoyne College. And as always, fins up.
Fins up, Dan.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Want to let you all know that we will be ending this video and starting a new one every Wednesday at 9:45, right around 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. We start a new video because our fantasy football is such a big part of what I do here at Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. It's such a huge piece of what we do. And I know that people like to get their fantasy advice. They like to get it quick. So we make sure that we put separate videos there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video, and we're going to start a new one on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're here with us on Facebook and YouTube, please know we're going to be back momentarily. For those on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on wakeupcalldt.com, we will be doing continuing on, just moving straight forward. So for those of you listening, just keep on listening. And for those of you watching on video on YouTube and Facebook, we